I can't stop hustling every minute, every second. Can't stop hustling.
WWE staff cuts. Will The Rock compete at this year's WrestleMania? The answer is no. Or is it? And CM Punk news. Again, these stories and more on this episode of A Shot of Brew. Hey, what's going on, party people? It's your bro, Yellaboi, and I'm here with Bros, Brews, and Botches with another episode of A Shot of Brew. Now, today we start the episode paying tribute to Jammin' Pugh, known to the wrestling world as Jay Briscoe. On January 17th, Mr. Pugh lost his life in a tragic car accident in Laurel, Delaware. Pugh, along with his daughters, were hit head-on, where both Pugh and the driver of the other vehicle, her name was Lillian Turnahan, 27, were pronounced, both her and Jay were pronounced dead on the scene. Pugh's daughters, 12-year-old Gracie and 9-year-old Jaylee, were in critical condition at Nanticoke Hospital in Seafield, Delaware. Now, despite that, positive news was reported on January the 21st, as Gracie was said to have regained feeling in her lower extremities. Also, Jaylee was reported to be having her feeding tube removed and was fitted for a back brace. Now, after this tragedy, a large amount of support from pro wrestling world was showered throughout this week. During the NXT broadcast, Vic Joseph reported the death of the former Ring of Honor champion. Then Michael Cole also reported and sent condolences on Friday Night SmackDown. Unfortunately, it was reported that Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of AEW Ring of Honor, was against the tribute show during Wednesday night's episode of Dynamite. Tony Khan was able to film a tribute show after Dynamite's airing. The tribute show will be available for free, whether you have a subscription or not, to Honor Club and Ring of Honor's YouTube channel. Jay Briscoe, the professional wrestler, was a 2-time Ring of Honor champion, a 13-time Ring of Honor tag team champion with his brother Mark, Ring of Honor World 6-man tag champion, and much, much more. However, Jammin' Pugh, the man, his biggest accomplishment was his family from all accounts, especially his children. Now, there's a donation page that was created for the family, and the link, hopefully I've put it on the screen right now, and then it'll also be provided in the description below. Now, if you feel so compelled to donate for the Pugh family, please do so. As of this video, the goal has been exceeded, but don't let that prevent you from donating to the Pugh family after this traumatic incident. The Bros want to continue to send our condolences and prayers for the Pugh family, friends, and fans at this very difficult time. Now, there's absolutely no way to transition from that to the next topic, but we're going to try our best. So without further ado, we'll continue with the news. Now, WWE staff cuts amidst Vince McMahon returning as the board of directors chairman. So via Fightful.com's Sean Ross Sapp, it was reported that WWE had began office cuts to WWE employees. Now, to note, this does not include any talent or members of the roster, and was only reported as the office staff for WWE. Now, it's unclear how extensive the office cuts will be, but this is reportedly a major topic of conversation backstage, especially before Friday Night SmackDown. No names were provided with the office cuts, but as the situation continues and things change, we will report them. But it leads to another question: what other changes will we see with this chairman change with Vince McMahon? Time will only tell. Hopefully he'll never touch creative. Now, sticking with the WWE, will The Rock be participating in this year's WrestleMania? Now, from WrestlingNews.com, WWE wanted an answer from Dwayne The Rock Johnson about WrestleMania 39 by mid-January, ahead of the Royal Rumble, which is this Saturday. Now, while it isn't set in stone, it does not appear as The Rock will be wrestling due to him feeling like he won't have enough time to get in wrestling shape. He is in shape, but it's a different kind of shape to be in wrestling shape. So he doesn't feel like he's there quite yet. Now, remember the last time The Rock wrestled for real, not that little squash match with Redbeard, he tore his abdominal muscle. But if you're asking for my opinion, telling the reporters and everyone that you won't be wrestling or in wrestling shape is quite the thing to do if you don't want anybody to know that you're actually wrestling for WrestleMania. But whether this is a shoot or a work, time will tell. We'll see. Now, Monday's 30th anniversary special of Raw will also be telling of the direction it could go, as it was announced that there will be a bloodline acknowledgement ceremony occurring with generations of the Samoan dynasty or family that are going to be present. So we'll see if it works in the storyline with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or if it's just going to go in another direction with Sami Zayn. So we'll see. But from one possible return to another, there was some news on the status of CM Punk this week. Now, CM Punk has been away from our screen since the Brawl Out at All Out, that Fallout, but way back in September. Now, rumors that started right after that CM Punk's AEW contract would be bought out. He would go somewhere else, possibly WWE. Well, the Wrestling Observer provided an update on the standing in AEW, reporting, quote, "Right now, from the Punk side, the belief is that Tony Khan has put Punk on ice for now, as there are no ideas to use him that have been presented, but no talk at all of late to release him either," unquote. So this could mean that at least for now, the contract buyout talks have no truth. Now, Punk himself is currently rehabbing a torn tricep muscle, and he's posted a couple of things that may state that he's closer to a return than not. But as far as him returning specifically to AEW, more will be reported as info is provided. Now, we round out this news today with Keiji Muto having his last match as the Great Muta and his final opponent being announced. So Sunday morning, Keiji Muto had his last match under the moniker of the Great Muta as he teamed with Darby Allin and longtime opponent Sting, or as Tony Schiavone would say, Sting, against Akira Hakushi and, don't get on me if I say this wrong, Naomichi Marufuji at the Great Muta's final bye-bye event. Come on. Best name of a pay-per-view ever, bye-bye event. Anyway, the match seen the Great Muta's team pick up the win after Muta hit two shining wizards to Hakushi. Now, it was announced afterwards that Muto's final match will be held on February 21st at the Tokyo Dome. Now, his opponent will be none other than Los Ingobernables de Japon's Tetsuya Naito. So, Naito versus Muto in his last match in the Tokyo Dome. I don't know how much of that could have rhymed better, but whatever. That's going to be a heck of a match and a way to put over that young talent Naito. No, but definitely a good match. I'm sure it was handpicked by Muto to have his opponent, and I believe at Wrestle Kingdom they kind of built on that to begin that storyline for that final match. So it would be a good one to see February the 21st. However, that was the news. Now, I want to give an editor's note from last week. My very sincere apologies for confusing anyone out there during that Darby Allin news last week that I had. I haphazardly integrated Allin's match with Kushida with Brian Danielson's matches that he's been having for the previous weeks in the storyline with MJF. So if I've confused anyone, I am sorry. Those are two separate storylines, and I apologize for integrating them, and I didn't get a chance to edit it out. So sorry. I will try to be more careful in the future and not confuse anybody for that. But also, if you are still liking the music that you're hearing right now, make sure this is DJ L Spade, our good friend of the channel, DJ L Spade. Again, you should see something pop up on the screen. DJ L Spade from the album El Spadia. The name of this track is called Hustle, and you can find it on all music platforms. You know, Apple, YouTube, Spotify. Not going to go through all of them. It should be somewhere on this screen here that you see. So go check it out if you like this music. He has a whole lot more catalog full of music that you may enjoy. He's DJing out of Japan. So please, please, please go hit him up if you like what you're hearing right now. Also, if you want some Bros, Brews, and Botches merchandise, like something like this that I'm wearing, please go to our friends over at Elevated Creations for t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Now, link to Elevated Creations can be found in our link tree in the description below, and it sends you right to there, and you can scroll down and find the Bros, Brews, and Botches apparel. So get your shirt now. Again, you can find, before we get done, you can find the link to donate to the Pew family in the description below. Please, if you have to give, please give. It's a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, and I know for those of you who have kids, just think about it if it was your kids going through this. They've lost their father. They themselves have injuries that are changing their lives, and medical bills are expensive. So even though they hit their goal, it's always good to have extra just in case. So if you do have to give, please do. If you're weary of giving over the internet, they do also offer the opportunity to send check, money order directly to them. It goes to the widow of Jay Briscoe. So if you can, please give. The link will be in the description below. But remember, you guys, before we get out of here, to like, share, and subscribe if you digging everything that we're doing on this channel, whether it be 60-second sips or the Shot of Brew. Please make sure you're doing that. Also remember to comment in the comment section so that we can keep up with what you guys like and dislike. And also, in order for our algorithm overlords to continue to spread the good word of the Bros, Brews, and Botches, please do all those things. But as always, I want to thank you so much for tuning in a difficult week in the wrestling world. But we'll get through it together, as we always do as a wrestling community. So, as I leave, as always, we love you. And until next time, we out.
It's like I took some Viagra and I dressed in a leotard, then walk outside in public with some nudie mags, so y'all can see that I go hard. From sunrise to sunset, I can't stop hustling. Every minute, every second, can't stop hustling. From sunrise to sunset.